record. Ding, 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 ding.
Now I am the one who is recording.
Now I am recording.
Now I am the one who is recording. Hello and welcome to the Never Heard of It podcast. I'm Craig Moorhead.
And I'm Shawn Harwell, and this is a podcast where we talk about the movies that have fallen through our cracks. And today we're doing a mini episode, which, Craig, why don't you tell people what we do during these mini episodes?
Generally, Shawn, what we'll do is we'll talk about movies, the movie industry, things that are happening in movies, interesting facts, trivia. Sometimes you'll sing a little song that you've made up about the week in movies.
Not tonight.
And it's, well, not tonight, but most of the time. And then we say goodnight. That's generally how this kind of thing will run.
Well, that sounds super duper cool. And if you want to check out some of our other episodes, please go visit neverheardpodcast.com. Our last episode, we talked about a 1973, somewhat of a horror film from Hammer Films called Nothing But the Night, starring Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. And you can enjoy that podcast. So, Craig, start us off with something this fine episode.
Well, the first thing I want to start off with, Shawn, there have been rumors today that moved the stock market around a little bit.
Uh-oh.
And I was going to ask you what you thought about this.
Are your stocks okay?
Luckily, my stocks are fine. Okay. And the kid's future is still secure.
They can go to college, thank God.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
So there's rumors that Disney might buy Netflix.
Wow.
It didn't mean a lot to me. The only thing I could think, my only reaction to that really is, well, if Disney owns Netflix, then what movies of their competitors will not be on Netflix? Like, I think that'd kind of suck. I don't know.
It would.
Do you have any feelings about that?
No, I feel like, did they not? I think they struck some deal with Netflix earlier this year as well to bring a bunch of their, and I know Zootopia is on there right now, which is pretty big deal. They've always been traditionally somewhat stingy with how they release things in the video market, with the Disney Vault and whatnot. Yeah, it's interesting. I think, more than maybe who they would keep out, it's kind of, well, okay, what does that mean that they're keeping in a way? Does this mean all the Star Wars movies are going to be immediately available and, will be the first place exclusive for, say, Force Awakens or Episode 8 or Rogue One, when they finally make it to streaming? Correct me if I'm wrong, they also own Marvel? Or
yes.
No? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, it's always, some of that stuff has always been a little confusing to me because I know, it's not like the studios are involved in the theater chains anymore. But as far as home video, it's always a little bit confusing to me. Sometimes, Fox will release a movie that wasn't necessarily produced at Fox on video. So
fair enough. I
don't know. I think, the bigger thing is don't change what works about Netflix. And I can't imagine that they would drastically.
Right.
It feels like they've been pretty hands-off on the Marvel side of things from what I can tell. And it seems like they're steering Star Wars in a cool direction.
Yeah.
And if they want Netflix, I think I'm okay with that as long as we can still enjoy Netflix. I don't know. I think this is a wait and see. I don't think it's a hit the panic button yet. How about you?
Well, I mean, clearly a lot of the fat cats on Wall Street, the ones.
I do.
They seem pretty excited about it. So
okay, so it had a positive effect on both of their stocks. Is that what happened?
Well, on Netflix stock especially, everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to get So
that's interesting, isn't it? It's like, what is Netflix doing wrong currently that Disney would make it? I guess it just means that they're that much more financially viable. Because
I think that's it. I mean, I think right now there are so many sharks circling Netflix. Yeah. And I mean, really, Netflix has done an amazing job.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just done an amazing job. I remember, a few years ago when they really started buying up stuff and putting money out for original stuff, and a lot of people were saying, well, there's no way they're going to survive if they keep doing things this way. And I mean, they're still leading the pack as far as I can tell. So,
well,
yeah.
Do you remember when they separated the DVD service for a while and they had
it was like a different site? Yeah.
Yeah, Quickster or something like that. And then that just blew up in their faces.
Yeah. But honestly, it didn't even register for me. Like, I didn't even think about the fact it was a different site at all. But yeah.
Well, I wasn't doing DVDs at the time, so it didn't bother me at all. But And I know that they've seen some decline in subscriptions that they chalked up specifically to the price hike that they announced was coming for a year.
Yeah.
And some people, whatever, it just surprised them, or they just don't want to pay that much. That's fine. Sure. I also read today, I think Netflix inked a deal with a very small but sort of premium theater chain to release some of the movies that they're financing in-house. I think specifically so that they can qualify for Oscar contention. So that they can, because they got a lot of backlash from theater owners by doing like Beasts of No Nation and wanting to release it in theaters the same day they released it on their site. Right. And the theater owners were like, no, it's not playing in my theater if you do that. They want that exclusive window. So I think that's interesting. All that world, it just seems like it's merging to a degree, and it's somewhat inevitable. I don't think I don't think theaters are going away, but I think we've talked about this before, but that window, I think it's just going to get smaller and smaller, and I think it can benefit everybody in the long run. But I don't know. Maybe there'll be an interesting little Netflix section of Disney World where you can just hang out and watch a movie. You can literally Netflix and chill, and just while your kid while your kids go ride Space Mountain or something. So we'll see.
Fair enough.
I watched a documentary last night called The Witness. I think that came out late last year, but mostly just this year, and specifically on Netflix this month. And do you know anything about this?
Not from the name, no.
Not from the name? Okay. It's about Kitty Genovese, who was murdered. She was a very young woman, in her 20s, murdered in 1964. The New York Times had this huge piece about how there were 38 witnesses to the crime and that did nothing. It didn't even call the cops, nothing. And then later, I think on the 40th anniversary, perhaps, they revisited that story within a house, at the New York Times, and printed, some things about how a lot of that initial reporting was not completely accurate and painted a very different picture maybe than what exactly had happened. Certainly an apathetic picture and a very dystopian picture of New York. And so this documentary is directed by James Solomon, but it mainly centers on Kitty's brother, Bill, who was her younger brother by quite a few years. I think he graduated high school a couple years after she was killed. And, just kind of been obsessed with that, as you might imagine, over the years, and finally set about trying to find out, who these 38 people were, how they came up with the number 38, and, basically the facts of what happened that night. And it's really, really compelling. I mean, obviously, with making a murder and serial, this is within a sort of very hot genre, I guess, for nonfiction film. And I think this one has enough of a different angle on it. It's it's definitely not the Jinx or anything like that. And it's not really trying to answer those same questions. I mean, we know how she died and who killed her. Right. And so this is more sort of about, the sort of like the societal reaction to all of that. And it's really compelling. Definitely check it out. It's an hour and a half on Netflix. And if you're into that kind of thing, big thumbs up.
Well, I was just going to talk about this trailer for Get Out.
Oh, let's get out.
So what we got here, people, is we got a horror movie that is directed by Jordan Peele of Key and Peele fame. And this thing looks terrific.
Can you summarize the idea? I mean, I couldn't. I love the trailer. It's great. Yeah. And it definitely looks super fresh and interesting and original. I don't know if I know quite what's going on. I don't want to know everything that's going on, obviously. Sure. But just a general vibe of what this movie is about.
Well, I mean, the germ of it seems to be, and what's interesting is some of it looks 1 degree off from being hilarious.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? But I mean, it's never really hilarious. It's very clear this is a dark movie. It's not a parody of horror movies, at least not completely. But there are still moments that feel very close to being comedy. And I'm really interested to see how they ride that line. But what it seems to do is it seems to be coming from the seed of an idea where this girl, played by Allison Williams, is going to take her boyfriend to meet her parents. The boyfriend's black, she's white, and it kind of brings up the anxiety that goes along with this kind of thing in general, but also when you're talking about a mixed race couple, where even now, 2016, that's still a sore point for people. It's still a thing that's difficult to deal with, especially navigate for an older generation. Well, for all the generations.
Yeah, I think it looks totally cool. It's almost like a horror spin on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner or something like that.
Very good. Yeah.
And here's something I wanted to ask you about, because this is obviously going around Facebook, and certainly by the time this episode drops, I think it will have certainly made the rounds. But I had a friend that posted this, and she wrote, "A black dude starring in a scary movie. I can't remember this ever happening before, seriously." And I was like, "Oh Jesus, yeah, I don't know if I can't either." I want to say I'm sure it's happened before, but maybe not in something that's as mainstream as being produced by Blumhouse and those guys this day and age for sure. But does anything jump to mind for you?
No, it doesn't, and that's
it's so sad.
It's so
right?
funny. That wasn't even the first thing I thought, because. Yeah, generally, and what they've been making fun of for, a good couple decades now is the black guy dies first.
First person to get killed, yeah. And that's clearly not going to be the case in this one.
Or will it?
Yeah, I don't know. That trailer's lying, definitely, if it is.
That's crazy. I didn't think about it at all.
Well, here's the one question I have about this movie that I want it to answer, and I hope it will answer in the right way, and that is what this girlfriend knows about her parents, because clearly they're being painted as the ones who are a bit psycho and murderous and out to get him, or harbingers of like these evil, people. But she, from the trailer, seems completely unaware of that, and so that's the thing. It's like, is there going to be a twist where you find out either she's one of them or she's not one of them? How innocent is she, and like what does that kind of due to their relationship? I'm really kind of curious to see how he handles that, but looks super cool.
Well, and I'll point this out too, and I should have thought about this before. Longtime listener and good pal Damon Leahy and I were talking just recently about the movie The People Under the Stairs, and that in that movie the protagonist is a black kid.
Okay.
And that is, it's Wes Craven. It's People Under the Stairs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not a ton of stuff. Certainly not a ton of stuff, in the last 20 years. You go back to the 70s, you'll find, what they were calling blaxploitation stuff, Blackula, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you're right. As far as like a protagonist in a movie like this, no.
One other trailer I wanted to talk about briefly, and mainly just because I wanted to compare it to this one a little bit, is the trailer for Jackie, the Jackie Onassis Kennedy biopic starring Natalie Portman came out. Beautiful poster of her dressed in one of those famous red dresses and red background, and boy, that trailer! I click on it kind of like, eh. I'm just sort of like in the moment of where we're at here in 2016. I don't know that I need another historical biopic about anybody, really. Like, I kind of would rather just watch the documentary, or like rather it be someone that I don't know of. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And so I watch it not really knowing what to expect, and boy, I think regardless of how this movie turns out, that's a beautiful trailer. Like it's a moving trailer. And so watching this and then watching Get Out, and I don't remember which order I did, I was like, holy cow, both of these trailers are doing so well. There's some really cool editing going on in that Get Out trailer as well, and it's not just like scare kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff with sound, and it's like, I think you can make the argument that we're not in the golden age of movies, but we might be in the golden age of trailers. These things are like works of art. I don't know. I hope that the Jackie movie can kind of live up to what's so cool in that trailer, but I feel like it can't. Like, it would have to be like a Terrence Malick movie to do that, because there's that sort of like floating monologue in that trailer and this beautiful music. And I'm like, there's no way the movie can unfold like that. It'll be sort of, kind of traditional narrative, I think, at least.
I'm just wondering, like, maybe this will be more of an art film than just like the standard. There's a Kubrick feel to it, and you're right, there's a Malick feel to it. Combine those two guys, Kubrick, Malick, you got a Malick movie. But I don't know. I do hope if that movie does feel like the trailer, I would totally go watch that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a super powerful performance, even just in that trailer. So be excited to check that out. Well, maybe we should talk box office here.
Let's do it, man.
All right.
Gotta get to work.
So, as we tallied up the score from last time, you got 2 right, I got 1 wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. None of us got the big ones right. I mean, we completely struck out Miss Peregrine's, and that did really well,
That did, yeah.
I think both that and Deepwater did above 20, so that's not too bad for September. We are looking at Friday, October 14th, and Craig, not a ton coming out this week.
No, it's going to be a sleepy weekend.
Yeah. So you've got The Accountant,
the
new Ben Affleck movie.
Yes.
That the trailer came on TV the other day when I was downstairs with my wife watching TV, and she was like, "What the hell movie is that?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I think it's The Accountant with Ben Affleck." And she's like, "Yeah, okay." So don't know much about that, but it's Warner Brothers wide release, and then there's Max Steel. Mm-hmm. The action movie. Previous week, you've got The Birth of a Nation going out on 2,000 screens.
Yep.
Obviously, they're hoping for some awards there, despite the controversy.
Indeed.
And The Girl on the Train, which is the big literary adaptation of thriller Emily Blunt. Over 3,000 screens. You've got the comedy Middle School, The Worst Years of My Life, which all I know is that it stars Andy Daly, and I love Andy Daly, but mostly I think it is literally about middle school kids.
Sure, yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know where we come in at here this week.
Well, luckily I have a pretty good feel for this kind of thing, Shawn.
You do, obviously. I mean, a 2-1.
2-1
out of possible 5. Yeah.
Right.
You're ahead.
Not even half, but.
So let's do a top 5 again.
Okay.
If you need a quick reminder, I think Miss Peregrine's will still be out there. Deepwater Horizon, The Magnificent Seven, Storks, Sully, Masterminds. Those were all the top 6 from the last time we did that, so we'll see. Mm-hmm. Keep those in the back of your mind.
All right. There's also another. Now there are another couple you didn't name, and I'm not sure where they're going to fall in terms of how many screens. There's a Kevin Hart. I think like a concert film,
comedy concert, yeah,
which usually does pretty good. And then there's Voyage of Time, the Terrence Malick documentary.
Yeah, the IMAX thing.
Yeah. Well, as we know, last week, The Girl on the Train was number 1 in the box office. Girl on the Train is going to remain number 1 from the week before.
Okay. Girl on the Train.
Okay.
Number 2.
Number 2 is tough because I want to say that Birth of a Nation will be number 2. But there's a part of me that feels like Accountant could slip in there, except The Accountant and Girl on the Train they're going for the same audience exactly. Mm-hmm. And Birth of a Nation, if people have been listening, I mean, it's clearly getting publicity.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's a question of how many people are going to say, well, I don't want to go watch a movie made by a rapist versus this is supposed to be a great movie, I want to watch it.
Right.
Right.
An important movie, too,
Exactly. I mean, like an amazing story, and apparently the movie ain't half bad. I think Birth of a Nation will be second. I think Peregrines will be third.
Wow.
Right? Mm-hmm. I think The Accountant. Man, is that even possible? That would be a terrible opening, wouldn't it?
They would be disappointed. I think they would be. I know Ben Affleck would. He didn't direct this, but I know
he didn't direct it, but still, and it doesn't look like a bad movie.
Sure, no.
But there's nothing important about it. There's nothing that's grabbing you. It's not a book like Girl on the Train that everybody read, and it's not Birth of a Nation. Mm-mm. But I think The Accountant's still got to come in
Fourth? Is that what you're saying?
I'm going to say it's going to come in third.
Okay. Are you slipping Peregrine down to fourth?
Yeah, Peregrine's is fourth.
Okay. Number 5. You're almost through this.
I know. So number 5, that's the toughest one, right?
Always.
It's always the toughest one. I don't think
it's going to be Max Steel. But you got this one right last time, so. Okay.
Oh, exactly. No, number 5 is like, that's my wheelhouse.
That's a game.
So, I don't think it's going to be Kevin Hart. It's definitely not going to be Voyage of Time. I don't think Middle School's got it, though I do love Andy Daly. And Rob Riggle.
Oh, isn't it? Okay, cool.
Love those guys. My guess is, is that possible? I think Deepwater Horizon will be number 5.
Okay, there we have it. That was a good call.
I don't know. I think those are all terrible. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
tell them what it's really going to be.
I'm gonna go out on a limb there, and I'm gonna pick the Accountant to do number 1 that week.
Oh.
Yep. Immediately prepared to be wrong. Sure. I'm gonna say Girl in the Train. Okay. Followed by Birth of a Nation. Followed by, I'm gonna say Miss Peregrine's actually slips a little bit. Just.
Oh my goodness.
Because I was quite certain it was going to in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Deepwater Horizon sticks in there at number 4.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with the Middle School as number 5.
Whoa.
I am. I think it's got a wide enough release.
Yeah.
And there's probably an audience that I have completely no clue about that is interested in seeing this movie that will have already seen Miss Peregrine's.
Maybe so.
But probably not, Craig. So, you should all come back and check our Facebook page, and we'll tally up these results, and you can enjoy how wrong we were once again.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be great.
Find us online, neverheardpodcast.com. We'll be back next time with, we haven't penciled it in exactly yet, but we did one very cool, very current film for the month of October that's coming that I'm psyched to put this one out there because it was a good movie. Yeah. And maybe another potential surprise guest. So look forward to that. We'll keep you posted on that. But in the meantime, just soak it all in, man.
Soak it in.
Soak it up and soak it in.